English Grammar in Use by Raymond Murphy. Unit 6, the past continuous. Let's do this. Hello people, it's Gino here from Real Everyday English. How are you today? I hope you're good. I feel absolutely fantastic. I've done my Sunday morning run and now I'm ready to teach you people some English grammar. Yes, I know grammar is boring, but still I feel we need to know it. And these videos are getting a good reception, so I'm going to continue making these videos until I've worked all the way through the book, and this will help people who are not in a position to actually buy a copy of the book. Before we get into the topic, I just want to touch on something, and that is that there are now 1,000 people who are regularly watching, enjoying, and most importantly, learning English through my videos. I'm absolutely honoured to be a little part of your English learning journey, and I'm going to continue making these videos to keep helping people improve their English and take steps towards their life goals. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, I'm going to start with the how do we form a past continuous sentence. And it's quite simple, to be honest with you. So we start off with the verb to be, but in the past tense, so that's either was or were. Then we use the infinitive form of the verb plus ing. So before we move on, I just want to explain the conjugation of the verb to be. So as always, the conjugation of the verb to be depends on who we're talking about. So for I, he, she and it, you're going to use was. I was eating. She was eating. For we, they and you, which are the plural forms, it's going to be were. They were having a good time. They were running for the bus, etc., etc. One thing that makes this tense rather simple, in my opinion, is the fact that it doesn't matter about irregular or regular verbs. We use the infinitive plus ing for all verbs. Okay, so let's get on with some of the uses of the past continuous tense. And the first one that I can think of is for actions which started and finished in the past, but we want to put emphasis on the duration, i.e. we want to let the other person know, the reader or the listener, that this happened for quite some time. So to give you an example, he was working all night, and emphasis on the all night. It's to express that he was working all night, which is a long time. Another example would be, I was waiting for over 5 hours. So let's say you're in the hospital in the accident and emergency, and this is quite common in the UK, and you're waiting in the waiting room and you're telling this to someone else. You could say, yeah, I was waiting for over 5 hours. And again, it's to emphasize the length of time. Okay, so to give you an example with they or we, so they were speaking for 2 hours. They were speaking for 2 hours. So that is the first use of the past continuous, and it's for actions that started and finished at some time in the past, but you want to emphasize the duration of the action. And the second use that I can think of is to express when an ongoing action was interrupted by another action, i.e. there was one action happening, ongoing, when something happened to interrupt that action. And in these kind of sentences, you will often see the past continuous, but also the past simple in the same sentence. So as we look at these sentences, I'm going to explain which is the past simple and which is the past continuous. So first example could be, he walked in as we were eating dinner. So you're eating dinner with your family and you're explaining this to someone else later on. You could say, he walked in as we were eating dinner. And you can see that the first part of the sentence is in the past simple. He walked in. And then the second part is the past continuous. As we were eating dinner. Another example of that, let's say I'm in a shop and I'm buying some paint to paint my walls or my woodwork in my house or something like that. And I bumped into an old friend and then I was explaining this to someone else later on in the day, I could say something like, I was buying some paint when I saw him. I was buying some paint when I saw him. So I was buying some paint, but that got interrupted by me seeing my old friend. Now you'll notice that the first part of this sentence is the past continuous. I was buying some paint. And then the second part is in the past simple, when I saw him. Just to explain a little bit further, we normally use the past simple to explain the interruption. So the ongoing action is the past continuous. I was eating, she was walking, is the past continuous. And then the interruption, when he walked in, for example, that is always in the past simple. Okay, and the third and final use of the past continuous tense that I can think of is to show change or growth that was happening at some time in the past. So it's an ongoing change or growth, but it was happening at some time in the past. So some examples of that would be, the children were growing up quick. So the children were, it's past tense, growing up quick at a particular time in the past. Another example would be, his English was improving quite quickly, because obviously he was watching Real Everyday English. And the final point that I want to make on this tense is that we don't usually use the continuous format with stative verbs. So some examples of stative verbs might be know, want, need, and hate. I'm going to give you some examples with them 4 words, and there are many others, but I've not got the time to explain them all in a short Sunday morning video. So the first one, the verb to know. So we wouldn't use this in the past continuous. So let's give you an example. I might say something like, I knew it would go wrong from the start. I knew it would go wrong from the start. Not, I was knowing it would go wrong from the start. No, we don't say that. Okay, another example with the verb to want. When I got home, I wanted to sleep. Not, when I got home, I was wanting to sleep. No, we don't say that. With the third verb, which is to need. After work, I needed to go shopping. Not, after work, I was needing to go shopping. No, we don't say that either. And the last one is the verb to hate. I was enjoying the party, but she hated it. I was enjoying the party, but she hated it. Not, I was enjoying the party, but she was hating it. No, we don't say that either. Okay, that's it for this week's video. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for joining me, and thank you for watching. I appreciate every one of you who come to watch these videos, and I hope that these videos are helping you take giant strides towards reaching your English goals. I have plenty more video ideas for the future, so please continue to tune in and continue to enjoy. If you like these videos, please feel free to share them with your English learning friends, and I'll see you people in the next video. Bye bye, ciao.